Hello and many thanks for joining us on Nationwide on the NTA. I am Lowry Bala Hassan. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Petroleum Industry Bill recently embarked on a fact-finding mission to the Niger Delta region ahead of planned public hearing that seeks to establish Host Community Trust Fund. The oversight visit is to evaluate the impact of 13% derivative in the region. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
The team was led by Chairman Senate Committee on Gas, Albert Akpan. He said they are looking at what Niger Delta Ministry Amnesty Program and Corporate Social Responsibilities has done for the communities.
And by the special grace of God, after all the talks that we have had and the bit of experiences that we have had on ground, we will then host a public hearing where I believe designers and other core oil producing areas will be present so that they can also let the world know exactly what they want and what they think we should do.
The communities over the years said their major problem is environmental degradation occasioned by pollution, which the 13% derivation is expected to address.
We've been writing, we've been making appeal. The attention has been very slim.
We want to tell you a different story next time you come. We want to hear that we build and repairs has helped the people of the map and the other local government.
The group visited Ikot Abasi, Eastern Obolo, Ona, Eked, and other communities. The Petroleum Host and Impact Community Bill hopes to address the community problems and accommodate the entire value chain in the exploration of oil and gas. Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Nigerian women say the time has come for them to come together, speak with one voice on gender parity and emancipation. This came to the fore as women from the 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT gathered in Abuja under the auspices of Women for Women and the He for She. Basi Itaikbang reports.
This gathering from interaction shows no tribal affiliations, language and religious barriers.
We are non-partisan. We are here to see that we hold the hands of even the younger ones to get them to higher levels.
To be more assertive, to stand and demand what she knows is her own right. Women have voices. We are going to speak, and we have to be heard.
A 10-point charter of demand was presented and adopted by the women.
So we want to see a country where we are the main contributors to its new agenda. So we are setting an agenda here through the 10-point action plan.
As part of the day, the women worked around the streets of Abuja. Their message, they say, is for the society to give them opportunity to contribute their quota to the development of the nation.
Nigerian women have been marginalized for a long time, but we are saying that we are also part of this country. We are working very hard for this.
The work terminated at National Assembly, where they also presented a 10-point charter of demand.
We don't want people to deny us because of our gender. We should not be judged by our gender in Nigeria. We should be judged by our character.
Most times women are reluctant in giving their fellow women maximum support. So we have decided that since men always take advantage of that, we have to come together to support ourselves.
Basi Itaikbang, NTA News.
Integrating women into decision-making processes at all levels is critical to ensuring a durable, peaceful architecture that will restore tranquility and counter violent extremism in the Northeast. This forms part of recommendations by participants at a national dialogue on the roles of women in fueling and countering extreme violence in the region held in Abuja. Momso Damian Dati reports.
My son was captured in 2011. They will bring my son. I spent more than 2 million. All my assets, my children's assets, I sold and give them. And still I didn't see.
Hajia Gana Suleiman, recounting her experiences with insurgents having lost her husband and sons to violent extremism. They were weeks away since 2011 without any news till date. Another sad story is that of Halima Sawaba, sharing nasty experiences at the internally displaced persons camps.
You see women, they have belly. When they have many small children and doing nothing. Even the food that they're getting from the camp, they didn't have it.
Their stories are only a reflection of what millions of affected women face on a daily basis: abduction, rape, poverty, stigmatization, and discrimination, to mention just a few. This explains why they've traveled long distances to Abuja to join other women and some policymakers from across the nation to lend their voices in exploring workable avenues through which they can be instrumental to countering violent extremism.
One, it has helped to amplify the voices of the people most impacted by the conflicts, and it has also brought the stakeholders to the table to dialogue on effective ways forward.
Unless we address economic deprivations, we cannot address violent extremism.
I mean, a man can run away and leave the kids. You hardly find a woman running away and leaving her family behind.
Because when we do catch for work, when we empower a woman and she's able to set up a business, when we do go and rebuild school or rebuild a hospital, we are basically doing more concrete things than the workshop. So it's beyond the talk show.
There must be a clear attempt at understanding the conflict from the perspective of a woman, experts suggested. Momsa Damien Nati, NTA News.
And troops on internal security operation must adequately protect people in their area of responsibility during crisis rather than mere show of force. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, on operational visit to army formations in Kano and Bauchi states, gave the directive while addressing troops in Janguza Barracks in Kano. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
The tour of army formations is aimed at appraising the combat capacity of units, troops' welfare, logistics, and the need to strategize to enhance success in the various ongoing internal security operations. At the headquarters, 73 Battalion, Janguza Barracks, Kano, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai urged officers and soldiers to cooperate with other security agencies in securing the country, as the era of interagency rivalry is over.
Elections are around the corners and you are expected to remain apolitical. While your presence there serves as deterrence, in the event of any crime, you must act according to the rules of engagement.
The army leadership also inspected accommodations within the barracks and directed immediate renovation of dilapidated structures. Similarly, the army is injecting additional 49 combat vehicles to the ongoing Operation Last Hold in northern Borno. Inaugurating the vehicles at the headquarters, 133 Special Forces Battalion in Azare, Bauchi State, General Buratai said the vehicles will support the operational strength of troops in eradicating the remnants of Boko Haram terrorists. Why is Operation Last Hold focusing on northern Borno?
That is the area that has been the mainstay of the agro-economy of the northeast part of Nigeria. So also support the return of internally displaced persons. So we would want to ensure that we give them protection.
Operation Last Hold, which is complementing the efforts of Operation Lafia Dole, commenced on May 1st and ends August 31st, 2018. From Azare in Bauchi State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And our next set of reports is coming from Lagos, the Center of Excellence. And Jennifer is our guide. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, Laurie. Welcome to Lagos. Nigeria is leading a regional campaign to discourage irregular migration in the sub-region. Consequently, a handbook called Passport to Safe Migration has been launched. Mohammed Abdul Kadri witnessed the advocacy program involving the Nigeria Immigration Service SEME Command.
SEME border is the busiest international border post in the whole of Africa, with the heavy traffic of persons and goods through this corridor. This is why the government, concerned about the problem of illegal migration, chose the border for the public presentation of Passport to Safe Migration.
This is what is in vogue worldwide. We record over 25,000 genuine travelers recorded travelers from this axis on monthly basis.
The 32-page document provides a detailed guide for Nigerians on regular migration.
A lot of people find themselves in this web not because they actually wanted it. Some is because of ignorance, some is because actually they don't really know how to go about safe migration.
The campaign is being driven by a tripartite partnership made up of the Nigerian and Spanish governments as well as ECOWAS. The issue of migration is a global phenomenon, and it is on record that 25 foreigners categorized as irregular migrants were refused entry into the country through semi-border flank by the Nigeria Immigration Service, Semi-Command, within the first quarter of the year. From Seme in Lagos State, Muhammad Abdul Qadir, NTA News.
The Lagos State government has assured that it will complete the rice mill it is building in a multi-area of the state within the first quarter of 2019. Governor Akinwumi Ambode gave the assurance during an inspection tour of major projects in Ikorodu, Emota and Agbowa axis by members of the Lagos State Executive Council. Nosa Usula reports that the mill will have the largest capacity in sub-Saharan Africa.
This mill, which is of 32 metric tons per hour production capacity, is projected to facilitate the creation of over 200,000 jobs across the agricultural value chain, as well as facilitating cultivation of 32,000 hectares of farmland to produce rice paddy, equating an estimate of 130 million kilograms of processed rice per year. The governor, who was represented by Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Adebowale Akinsanya, said the project is part of the primary objectives of his administration to ensure food security as well as give a quantum leap to economic integration of the Southwest region.
There are 250 containers coming in. They'll be coming in by late July to early August.
Conducting members of the State Executive Council round the Odo Onosa Ayedulu housing scheme, Commissioner for Housing Bola Olawal said the project had already been incorporated into the rent-to-own housing policy of the present administration, where people would just pay 5% of the total amount and spread the rest over 10 years.
There are 17 estates. The total number of units that we have in those 17 estates are 5,008 units spread across Lagos State.
Inspecting the 2.7-kilometer Agbowa Timberville Road, the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Rotimi Ogunleye, said the project was at the final completion stage in Lagos. Nosa Usula, NTA News.
Taking ownership of public assets and infrastructure has been identified as a way of facilitating national development. This was a focus of Change Begins With Me campaign on preservation and protection of public assets and critical infrastructure organized by the National Orientation Agency in Lagos. Jesuto Moses reports.
One negative practice which government is fighting against in Nigeria is corruption. Even as this gains popularity among the citizens, the Lagos State Director, National Orientation Agency, Mr. Wahid Ishola, noted that vandalizing public assets is anti-development. This, he added, brings about emergency situations that usually draw government back instead of moving forward in the area of infrastructural provision and may cause economic challenges that affect new infrastructural need. Imbibing change in the direction of taking ownership of public assets will, according to him, move the nation forward.
It is not good for people, to embark on destruction of critical assets of government, because money that will be used for repairs of these critical assets should have been used for other pressing needs of the people.
Spending a lot of money to put a lot of things in place. Some people will just come and vandalize them in the presence of somebody.
If you see something, say something so that we can make our environment better and safer.
They described lost value system as a major factor responsible for the negative development, calling on all citizens to embrace core national value as the only antidote to anti-progress behaviors. In Lagos, Jesuton, Moses, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. Others are back to Laurie in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Jennifer. This is Nationwide on the NTA. We now pause for some messages. The news continues shortly. Don't go away.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
There are many ways to get rich, but is whistleblowing one of them?
Flash boy must hear this.
Is the whistleblower blowing to make our country a better place? Is he blowing to take authorities on a wild goose chase?
As I'm living here now, going to comb everywhere.
Is he blowing to take a chance on wealth?
We need to move fast before those bags are moved out of the house.
And perchance strike gold?
Is it only politicians? What of armed robbers and kidnappers?
They talk about bushmeat, you talk about lizard.
Join your lovely cast of your rib-cracking comedy, Professor John Bull, in this episode titled Trumpet Blowers. Find out why the whistle blows and laugh like never before.
Not to say I don't really see any politician go receive that kind of money. I just think I can't yarn you in advance.
Over and out. Brought to you by Glow,
the largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام.
The second edition of the annual Ramadan lecture organized by NTA Katsina in collaboration with Al-Qalam University Katsina, Walen Hausa Foundation and Confanium FM Katsina will take place on Saturday, 12th May 2018, equivalent to 25th Sha'ban 1439 after Hijrah. Venue Al-Qalam University ICT Center Katsina. Time 10 a.m. Guest speaker Sheikh Muhammad bin Osman, Kano-based Islamic scholar. Topic: implications of the use of social media on the morale of youth and Muslims in Nigeria. Discussants: Dr. Muhammad Muslim Ibrahim, Dr. Mustafa Muhammad Al-Misri. The general public are hereby invited. Signed, Publicity Committee.
NTA Television College, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, has over the years maintained her reputation of putting together courses that are highly relevant to manpower needs of the broadcast industry. The college is again organizing a 4-week course on English grammar and pronunciation for broadcasters, slated for 21st May to 15th June 2018. Come and take advantage of our top-notch and intensive course designed to grow the skills of television presenters, script writers, news editors, journalists, hosts of live events in just 4 weeks. Venue: Multipurpose Complex, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Fee is 100,000 naira per participant. Accommodation inclusive. Be there. NTA Television College, Jos, training you to be the best you can be.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. And now talking health. With the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the likelihood is that if not swiftly nipped in the bud, it might spread to other parts of the African region. What are the implications for Nigeria? Uche Nwizu has a perspective.
During the previous outbreak, then U.S. President Barack Obama said, if the outbreak is not stopped now, we could be looking at hundreds of thousands of people infected with profound political and economic and security implications for all of us. This is certainly a call for action. What precaution is the African continent taking, arising from the outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, with confirmed cases and deaths?
We're fairly confident in the ability of the Congolese authorities to manage this outbreak, and we are prepared if, for any reason, anything should happen around a part of the world.
What are the defenses in Nigeria?
Working with all the partners, including the World Health Organization, the USCDC, other stakeholders locally. We're also working with the Port Health Services to strengthen enhanced surveillance at our port of entries.
The Nigeria Immigration Service also increased surveillance in airports. Considering the health and economic implications, a stitch in time, it is said, saves 9. There is therefore the need for a joint effort to stem the spread of the Ebola scourge from DR Congo. Uche Nwizu, NTA News.
And still talking health, genetic disease, irregular ovulation, blockage of or damage of fallopian tubes or uterus, among other medical conditions, have been identified as some of the major causes of infertility in men and women. Guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria stated this while discussing how to manage infertility in Nigeria. Comfort Amadou reports.
With a prevalence rate at 20 to 25% in Nigeria, medical experts on NTA Good Morning Nigeria asserted about 1 in 5 of every Nigerian couple grapples with issues of infertility. Apart from genetic and medical causes, they also highlighted lifestyle issues as well as environmental and technological factors, which they note are harmful to human health.
Obesity, which could predispose to hypertension, diabetes, all these also affect fertility potential of individuals.
Obesity is tend to be more with the affluent, and so obesity has its own lot of problems. Yes, it could cause a subfertility, like for the woman, for instance, it causes abnormality in the eggs. For the man, it causes abnormality with the sperm. And affluence is something that can actually predispose you to getting obese.
This chemical called phthalate is present in virtually most of these additives, chemicals, perfumes, oil, creams, all these things, is a causative factor in subfertility.
The guests advocated regular medical checkups, exercise, balanced diet, healthy lifestyle, and regular sexual intercourse between couples as some measures to reduce chances of infertility. They also encourage the use of medications to stimulate ovulation and surgery as the case may be.
With the advance of information technology and people getting more aware, the male are now beginning to come up. Of course, if you even look at them, we seem to help the female more than the male.
Some of these things like what is affecting fertility, like people entering into sexual unions late and all that, is because of the social conditions.
They emphasized on the need for more awareness on various available options for assisted reproduction for couples after a period of waiting, as the chances of giving birth declines with age. In Abuja, Comfort Amadou, NTA News.
Enugu residents react on federal government's ban on codeine. Let's join Chinyere from that zone for details. Hello, Chinyere. It's over to you.
Thank you, Lore. Good afternoon and welcome to Enugu. In line with the modernization program of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and in conformity with the international good practices, the service has organized a workshop on electronic application. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports that the workshop was held in Oka, the Anambra State capital.
Application, otherwise known as e-application, is said to cover the process of electronic registration, stamp duty, tax payment, and receipts. Others include the e-filing and e-tax clearance certificate, TCC. Participants drawn from all federal and state ministries, departments and agencies, as well as private companies, auditors, and tax consultants, we are put through the essence of e-application, which gives room for convenience and transparency in tax matters.
Instead of coming to file manual returns and making manual payments, they will do everything online. That makes it faster for them and for us.
We want the taxpayers
our distinguished taxpayers to have benefits of what it provides.
We want to make it fast. We want to make it more transparent and more cost effective for both the taxpayer and the revenue service.
A revolution in tax administration in Nigeria, other stakeholders urged Nigerians to key into the modern process.
We have the e-receipt where taxpayers can verify the receipt of payment that they receive through their email.
Workshop is very nice because it teaches me so many things which I did not know before.
The electronic application is an online platform that enables taxpayers to transact business with FIRS. From Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Health experts in Enugu State have described the recent codeine by the federal government as a step in the right direction in combating the menace of drug abuse in the country. The experts who made this known in their interviews with NTA News crew further stated that the ban will also restore sanity and regards for societal values. Jude Abugu has more.
Codeine, a drug component which health experts say belongs to the opiate family, is very effective in treatment of cough. That is why most cough syrup available in pharmaceutical stores in Nigeria contain codeine. Recent findings have, however, shown that codeine and tramadol are the most abused medical drugs in Nigeria, as some individuals, especially the youths, use these drugs for purposes other than medical treatment.
Because of the causing, it has led to this more or less of a ban. However, a recommendation has been made for another drug called dextromethorphan to be used in place. Dextromethorphan is nearly as effective as codeine, but very much less addictive.
The Principal Staff Officer, Drug Demand and Reduction Department, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Enugu, said although the rate of codeine abuse in Enugu State is very minimal, the agency had before now been collaborating with other relevant agencies in monitoring the demand, supply and use of codeine in the state.
We want it to be a controlled drug because they're supposed to be dispensed under supervision or when it is prescribed.
Speaking on the effects of drug abuse, a professor of clinical psychology noted that excessive use of drugs such as codeine and tramadol are partly responsible for some antisocial behaviors and violent crimes.
If you ban drugs and these people are coming out, if nothing is done for them, you may have a spree of violence.
Some respondents suggested ban on open drug market in the country, close monitoring and control of drug distribution as other ways of combating the high rate of drug abuse in Nigeria. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
The order by the Inspector General of Police to mop up prohibited arms and ammunition in circulation has paid off in Imo State, as the former Imo State Commissioner Mr. Chris Ezike displayed before the media arms and ammunition recovered in the state shortly before he was posted out from Imo State earlier in the week. Sele Osayende has more.
Handed down, Imo State Police Command has already put in place a systematic approach to recover prohibited arms and ammunition in the state. Some of the arms were voluntarily surrendered, while those who were apprehended are presently facing various charges in court. The success of this exercise, which is continuous, has been attributed to the relative peace and reduction of crime in the state. Numbers of guns recovered are 168, cartridges 99, ammunition 2,023, empty magazines stood at 25.
As we approach 2019, would-be political talks will find positivity in acquiring firearms with which they are going to disturb the electorate. So as we continue to mop up and remove these firearms from our society.
Mr. Ezike said this cache of arms and ammunition are different from those surrendered by ex-militants who were given state pardon recently in the state. Those arms, he said, are in the custody of the army in Owerri. Sela Osande, NTA News.
And that does it from here. It's back to you, Laura, in Abuja. Thanks for staying with us in Abuja.
Thank you, Chinyere. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Shoaib Lawal Gambo, has assured Nigerians that adequate steps have been taken to ensure that only the best candidates are recruited at the ongoing exercise nationwide. He stated this during the assessment of the exercise in Lokoja. Francis Udojo reports.
One of the primary responsibilities of the Nigerian police force is to protect lives and property of the citizenry. And one of the ways to achieve this is to ensure capable hands are recruited into the service. It is against this backdrop that the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Shoaib Lawal Gambo, in company of other senior officers in Kogi State, inspected the recruitment center at the State Police Command. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, who is in charge of the North Central Zone, explained that the visit is in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police to inspect various zones where the exercise is taking place to ensure its success.
Also want to appeal to members of the public to please not give anything to any policeman for this recruitment. If you do, you are losing your money.
At the end of the exercise, 5,000 candidates are expected to be recruited nationwide, out of which Kogi State is expected to produce 1,500 candidates. In Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has confirmed that indeed a letter requesting for exclusion order on Senator Basi Albert Akpan has been written to the Home Office Secretary of the United Kingdom. The letter, dated March 2018, was signed by Okoye Obono Obla, chairman of the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property, and copied to the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami. In the letter, Mr. Obono Obla says circumstances under which Senator Akpan acquired the properties listed in his assets declaration form dated 8th August 2015 were suspicious. Senator Akpan is said to be under investigation by the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property for illicit acquisition of assets and money laundering. Mr. Obono Obla therefore requested the Home Office Secretary to issue an exclusion decision on Senator Basi Albert Akpan for the United Kingdom and its territories. The senator's legitimate earnings as a public officer for the past 10 years were said to be far below the worth of the assets he acquired in the United Kingdom. And now to the judiciary. The National Judicial Council has recommended Justice Michael Goje of Adamawa State High Court for compulsory retirement for purported gross misconduct. The council, headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onogen, took the decision during its 86th meeting in Abuja. Dele Atumbi reports.
The National Judicial Council took the decision on the alleged refusal of Justice Goje to proceed on redeployment to Mubi Judicial Division of the Adamawa State High Court since July 2017. After receiving the complaints of the Chief Judge of the state on the alleged gross misconduct of Justice Goje, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, directed the Adamawa State Judicial Commission to investigate the matter. The outcome of the investigation informed the decision of the council on the affected judge. The council also directed Justice Michael Goje to refund all salaries received from July 2017 to date. Pending the compulsory retirement, the NJC suspended the affected judge from office. NJC also set up panels to probe 25 judges following petitions from the FCC. The council also dismissed petitions written against some judges after the investigations for lack of merit. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
The need for peace building and harmony among religious, political, regional and ethnic divides and fronts in the country was the focus of discourse at a two-day training of trainers on building leaders 40 days challenges held in Abuja. This was at the instance of the Global Initiative for Harmony in Nigeria in conjunction with National Orientation Agency and Universal Peace Federation. Justin Bemunyi reports.
The Leadership Seminar, a forum that brought together representatives of various security agencies, NGOs, politicians, and experts on peace building and security, was meant to improve security and consciousness, as well as build the leadership capacities considering the current security situation in the country. The realization of peace, they said, requires principled human efforts.
It is also true that the unfolding event in our nation today is a clear signal that Nigeria and the people of Nigeria being poised to exploit every given effort, opportunity, chance that can enable the building of the true culture of peace among our people.
And if we're talking about building leaders for these challenges, we are already assuming that it is the responsibility of the leaders to make this thing stop. But let's see, is it only the leaders that can stop these things?
Speakers expressed the need for leaders to live and lead for the sake of others, as well as transform and be repentant to enable Nigeria achieve the needed harmony and growth.
And if there is any way this country can do away with the issue of religion and ethnicity in our national life, that will help our growth.
A culture of peace cannot be imposed from the outside. It is cultivated in the heart of peace-loving people and ripples outward.
A situation where leadership is not led by example must change. If you claim to lead people, your primary concern should be the well-being of those people that you lead. Anything short of that does not depict good leadership.
The Global Initiative for Harmony in Nigeria is not a security outfit, but peace-oriented body with a mandate to contribute in building a culture of peace in Nigeria. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Lake Chad Basin governors meet on regional stability on peace. Naomi in Maiduguri is standing by with details. Hello, Naomi.
And welcome to Maiduguri. United Nations Development Program in partnership with the Borno State government has created the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum for Regional Cooperation on Stabilization, Peace Building and Sustainable Development. The forum, with membership of 11 states and provincial governors from Chad, Cameroon and Niger republics, held a two-day maiden interactive meeting in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Muhammad Guni reports.
The forum, which was formed with the support of the governments of Germany, Sweden and Norway, constitute a regional political mechanism that offers the governors in the region a platform to engage on solutions to the Boko Haram crisis and to jointly define a lasting, comprehensive solution with national, regional and international partners. Declaring the maiden interactive session open, President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima, acknowledged the support to the Lake Chad region and restated the commitment of the federal government to restore the lost glory of the Lake Chad Basin.
The Lake Chad is very dear to our hearts, as it is a source of livelihood to over 45 million people living in the basin.
United Nations Resident Humanitarian Coordinator and UNDP Resident Representative in Nigeria, Mr. Edward Carlon, noted the efforts so far made at national, regional and international level to bring durable solutions to the crisis, adding, however, that a lot needs to be done to address the underlying causes of the security challenges. The governor of the extreme north in the Republic of Cameroon, Mijin Yawa Bakari, that of Chad, Mohamed Abba, as well as the governor of Gifar province in Niger Republic, highlighted the commitment of their various governments to the sustainable peace in the Lake Chad region, while Governor Jibrila Bindao of Adamawa State had, on behalf of other governors of the member states, made declaration of commitment to the forum. There were goodwill messages from the UN system, EU, AU and other donor countries with commitment to support the forum to achieve the objectives for which it was created.
In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Sugoni, NTA News.
With peace gradually returning to rural communities of Borno State worst affected by the insurgency, Banki, a border town, is experiencing a flood of internally displaced persons and returnees, all accommodated in a camp. Our correspondent just back from the area reports that efforts are ongoing by the Army and Borno State Ministry of Reconstruction to secure the town for enhanced humanitarian activities and return of community life in the once vibrant commercial center. Banki town, bordering the Republic of Cameroon and Nigeria, once a beehive of business activities, is today a ghost of itself with destroyed structures and its inhabitants completely displaced. Banki now hosts over 40,000 IDPs and returnees in a camp under the watch of 152 Battalion Operation Lafia Dole in the area, in an effort to keep the area secured from attacks by insurgents. Considering Banki's porous nature, excavation of a border trench is being carried out by the Army unit with support of the State Ministry of Reconstruction.
I heard from the commander that he said he's making another trench behind this one, so making it a dual trench.
Also looking at security situation here, the hub should be operated for humanitarians to be able to stay an overnight and operate on a regular basis.
Some of the problems faced by the IDPs and returnees identified were lack of condiments for food preparations, inadequate health facilities and shelter. As at the time of filing in this report, trucks load of goods on transit were moving towards the Cameroonian border, heading to other neighboring countries for business. This was made possible with the reopening of the road from Maiduguri to Banki.
In Banki, I am Naomi Aboku, NTA News.
Recruitment of constables into the Nigerian police force nationwide is making appreciable progress in Borno, with over 6,000 applicants participating in the exercise. The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Force CID Hassan Dangala was at the Police College Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, to monitor the exercise. Abubakar Muhammad Musa reports.
Supervising conduct of the physical screening and verification of results of applicants, Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Force CID, Hyacinth M. Dagala, said the development is aimed at ensuring enhanced workforce for effective policing across the country. DIG Hyacinth Dagala, however, charged the prospective police officers to augment efforts of the Nigerian police force towards defending the country's territorial integrity.
That desire to make sure that the exercise is done orderly so that those who merit it will make it to the final.
Borno State Commissioner of Police, Damien Chuku, on his part, says all the necessary machineries have been put in place for a successful recruitment exercise. Out of 6,230 persons that applied for the recruitment exercise, 3,209 applicants have been shortlisted, while 652 people have been screened so far. From the Police College in Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
That does it from here. Is back to Lore in Abuja.
Thank you, Naomi. Time now to take another break. Nationwide returns shortly.
We promised and we're delivering. This is the second winner of the ticket to Russia.
I feel so excited. I can't quantify my happiness. This is one experience that every Super Eagles supporter should experience. And I'm happy I am one of those guys going to Russia to see the Super Eagles play Croatia and other teams in the World Cup. You need to start sending those text messages right now so that you can be a part of this. This is real. This is very real. Nigeria for Russia!
Sinoni Restaurant, serving authentic, delicious, and healthy Chinese.
Like it. It's another Children's Day celebration with NTA Knowledge. It promises to be exciting and full of fun. Come, let's celebrate Children's Day on 24th May 2018.
Featuring dance, march past, drama, musical talent display, choreography, cultural dance, catching the train. That's not all. Bernie and Clown will be on ground to add color to the event.
Theme: creating safe spaces for children, our collective responsibility.
Schools, parents, what are you waiting for? You can't afford to miss this fun fair.
Venue: NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11 Garki, Abuja. Gate fee: 1,000 naira only. Time: 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
For participation and sponsorship details, dial. Come, let's celebrate children in a grand style. Happy Children's Day.
You of all people know that Mexico is the last place on earth I want to visit.
Welcome to Maiduguri. You're welcome.
We have a quiet place we can sit. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, my office.
I thought that we had agreed no questions. Would you prefer answers to money?
You call me a beggar when you're a thief. You stole my wife!
You think this place revolves around you? This is our life.
When you're blind, you feel like what you're looking for is out there, but you just can't see it.
Tell you something.
Don't think because you're giving me money that you can come here and talk to me anyhow you like.
The day he chose to abandon school after all the money I spent on him is the day I wash my hands. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide, weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first. Get it fresh.
Thanks for staying tuned. And now to political matters. Stakeholders of the governing All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State have expressed confidence that the rescheduled governorship primary of the party will produce a candidate that will reclaim power from the opposition party in the July 14th governorship election in the state. They spoke to correspondent Saliu Abdullahi shortly after a meeting with the Electoral Committee in Ado Ekiti.
Apart from the initial date for the APC primary election, which suffered a blow due to violent conduct by some agents and delegates, the National Working Committee of APC, which earlier chose Friday 11th May for the exercise, shifted it to Saturday 12th May 2018 after consultations with stakeholders. It has been a busy moment for the APC primary election committee, who are working to ensure a better outing. Activities for the rescheduled exercise commence with a closed-door meeting with heads of all the security agencies and thereafter proceeds to on-the-spot assessment of a secured venue.
We're going to have meeting with the stakeholders of APC in Ekiti State and also have another session with all the 33 aspirants to clearly inform them and explain to them the process the exercise will take.
Let me use this medium to warn all would-be troublemakers to stay away.
2,408 delegates were accredited to participate in the aborted exercise, which was held at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium. 33 aspirants are in contest for the APC governorship ticket ahead of the July 14 elections. From Ado Ekiti, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Away from politics, Nigeria's Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun says government is working hard to maintain debt service cost. Speaking at the quarterly briefing on the state of the economy, the minister disclosed government's willingness to continue to focus on tax collection to meet developmental needs. Leah Katum Babatunde has details.
Nigeria's economic space has had to undergo reforms to curb leakages, wastages and theft since the inception of this administration. This is with a view to, among other things, mitigate the effect of sliding incomes. Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun says the nation's accounts books are feeling the impact of the VAT's extension, which has so far dragged more than 5 million additional taxpayers into the net. The whistleblower policy, she said, is responsible for the current trend in revenue mobilization. This month, 439 million naira is being paid to about 14 persons for tax evasion tips, with 13.8 billion naira recovered.
The whistleblowers in the past have been about stolen money. With the extension of the voluntary asset and income declaration scheme, of course, and our general narrative about tax, we're getting far more tips from on tax evasion, which of course is a crime against us all.
The Debt Management Office puts Nigeria's external and domestic debt at about $18.9 billion and 15.9 trillion naira as at March 2018. The minister is sure the burden is not too much, as government's borrowings are tied to massive infrastructure provision.
And those are, roads and rail that will be here for the next 30 years. So you're matching long-term assets and long-term liabilities. And the construct is that the economy will grow, will improve our tax collection and be able to service and repay the debt.
She, however, added that there is a need to realign priorities with the 2018 budget yet to be passed. In Abuja, I'm Leah Katung Babatunde, NTA News.
We are retired but not tired in the task of nation building. This is the submission of speakers at the first National Conference of States of Retired Permanent Secretaries Association of Nigeria held in Gombe. Correspondent Emmanuel Akila has details of the reports.
The Conference of States Retired Permanent Secretaries Association is a forum that galvanizes retired public civil servants who have rendered services in various ministries of government in their states. They believe that the wealth of experience they gathered during active years of service is of importance to national development.
And nowadays, under 21 chap has graduated from the university. So by the time you say he spent 35 years, plus his age is about 40, 55 years, you ask him to go. That is the time he is going to be very useful in society.
The way things have been bastardized, the small resources have been wasted. And it is your responsibility to draw the attention of government.
Governor Ibrahim Hassan Nankombo, represented by Gombe State Head of Civil Service, Adamu Haruna Abubakar, commended the foresight of the retired permanent secretaries in forming the association that would be a veritable reservoir of wisdom for younger public servants.
We can tap from the wells of their experiences. As technocrats, you have a lot to offer to the nation, even in retirement, especially now when the hard-earned glory of the civil service is fast diminishing.
The participants said, even after their retirements, they accepted various responsibilities and have been contributing to the growth and development of their states and the country.
Some of us are still commissioners, some are serving at different levels, some are special advisors. We have a lot to offer.
It will only be unfair if such knowledge or experiences are not tapped for the development of this country.
In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Let's now join Obiageli Ugwoke for stories from across the globe.
Hello there, and thanks for joining.